Hi, my name is Hjördís and I'm from the Progressive Party or Framsóknarflokkurinn.
Why should we urge our parents to vote for your party?
First, I'm not sure that it's your job doing so, telling your parents what they should vote. I encourage you to have strong opinions and just get informed in the matters that matters to you the most, and find your voice a platform. There are many platforms that you can speak your mind. But voting for Framsóknarflokkurinn or the Progressive Party gives me or us a chance to work for the people. We are a group of people that really want to do well in the society. We have not been involved in political parties before, most of us, maybe only one person I think. But but we are citizens and we know so much has to change, and we are ready to do it. So.
What is your plan to improve child welfare?
The short version, we want to work closely with the Ministry of Welfare, and we want to make sure that legislation is put in place. We want every time a child is in danger or needs help or assistance or support, we need and want that help and support to be available. And it shouldn't be a difficult task for families or people to seek that help. It should be there quite effortless, I think. That's our agenda and our main goal, I think.
Children with another mother tongue have difficulties achieving good academic levels because of language difficulties and lack of support within the educational system. What is your plan to support them and their schools?
Well, being a teacher, I'm a teacher in Reykjavík, so I know this problem really well, and I see this problem every day in my job. What we need to do is, first of all, smaller number of students per teacher, because if you do that, you only have more hands. You can have more variety of lessons and lesson planning and more support in the classroom. I think that's the number one thing we need to do. We have also, the school system has to be more flexible. Learning a new language takes time, and you have to give and of course some people are quick to pick up a new language, others take longer time, and we have to be flexible with that. And we also need to be more sufficient with supplying material in different languages, and learning Icelandic in your mother language. I think that should be more of a focus point, because you learn better when you have your language to work with. So that's our main goal.
Many of us as teenagers live with their brothers and sisters within common and small rooms. Our parents cannot afford to pay the high prices charged on the rental market today. What is your plan to provide housing, and what is your vision to reduce the high rents?
This is a huge issue. This coming election, the housing market is in crisis with regards of supply and demand. And therefore rent is out of control. It's too high for people to afford it, and the supply isn't enough. So what we need to do is we want the city to run or start a non-profit department or foundation, or to build housing in newer areas of the city, with the main goal of the housing being built quite quickly, cost-effective, and secure our citizens safe, secure, long-term housing with affordable rent. So it's not supposed to be, what we think is homes aren't a commodity. You can't, it's not a market product. You can't, it's not like Gucci or something. You can't just keep the price going up because of popularity. It's not, we think that's not okay. So we want to change that.
As young people, we cannot afford to rent even a small flat, and at the same time, we have to work to cover our education and living expenses. So many students in this situation have to give up their studies because of difficulties making ends meet and finding time to study. What is your vision to solve our problem?
Well, we say education comes first, and we are a community and country that pride ourselves in being educated and creating equal opportunities for people to learn and getting education. So the city needs to provide realistic ways for our citizens to do so, to get their education or the qualifications that they need or want. So cheaper housing for students and more supply of housing for students. And what we want to do also, just straight after the election, we want to pay our students 20,000 kroner per month just to use eco-friendly transportation. And that could also, I mean, help with monthly expenses or food or something like that. But studies are showing that our students are not doing as well as students in other Nordic countries. So I think we need to look there and see what are they doing and what can we be doing better for our students in that regard. So yeah, education is, I think, a priority and we have to make it so.
What is your plan to secure equality between Icelanders and foreigners, for instance, to equal pay and equal opportunities?
Equal opportunities is actually become law here, so we have to enforce that. So we want to make sure that everyone should be treated fairly, and we have to make sure that it's being done so here. So we think, first of all, we have to have all important documents, websites translated into more languages than just Icelandic or maybe English. Because well-informed citizens are, I think, the best prevention for any mistreatment. So if you know your rights, then you know how to seek it if you see it's not being, you're not being treated fairly. So we want, of course, our new citizens to be able to learn the language, first of all, and they have to be able to do that free of charge and hopefully at their work during work hours. So it's not an additional thing you have to do, because moving to another country is really stressful and you have many obligations, and so learning Icelandic in the evening or when you want to be with your family or you're working all hours, this has to go well together. And I think just learning the language and being integrated into the culture is a huge factor in people feeling like they are a part of the community. And yeah, so I think we should emphasize that.
Many foreign families find it difficult to understand the rules of society, their rights and responsibilities, and many of them have difficulties with integrating into society. Many feel isolated and left out. What is your plan to improve their living conditions and integration into society?
Well, we need to welcome everybody that wants to be here. I think we should do more of it, actually. I think we are not doing enough, because Icelandic is a big country and we have a lot of room. We don't have a lot of housing, but we can do, that's easily fixable, but we need to make people feel welcome. So we need to make the government or the public sector, welcome its citizens by creating an effortless way to integrate into society. You have to know, like, what are your options, what can you be doing after hours for sports, leisure, culture, what can you be doing, and making it so that everybody can access it. Learning the language, learning the culture takes time, and we need to give people time. But first of all, I think communication is key, and I don't think we're communicating with each other enough. I've met a lot of people during this campaign, because this is my first time campaigning, that have maybe been living here in Iceland for 10 or 12 years, and they still think that they're not allowed to vote, and I don't think that's okay. I think that's a really sad situation, that you've been living here for 12 years, and I think right now you can vote if you have lived here for 3 or 5 years, depending on where you come from. So communication and just listening and being respectful of each other, I think, then we should be okay.
What is your plan to improve healthcare and welfare of our grandparents and the elderly people?
We want to first of all start making it a real choice for people if they want to stay at home when they turn older, getting older. But of course, getting older means that you might need assistance with some things like bathing or washing or cleaning your house. That help needs to be provided by the city. And actually, right now it's become law that the city has to, and it takes, I think it takes, goes through in October of this year, that legislation. And also, the city needs to build more housing for retirement or nursing homes. Right now, the waiting lists for a space in those homes are far too long, and they are not government completely 100% government run or by the municipalities, so we need to change that, because those housing need to be non-profitable, so everybody can afford to live there. It has to be a fair choice, so you can choose to be at home or go to a nursing home when you're older, but then we have to have the choice available for people.